to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
Honestly, I'm fucking killing it.
Okay.
Yeah. And it says that like on the back.
Oh, it does. Okay.
It breaks it out.
All right.
Yeah.
Does it actually say fucking?
I'm pretty sure.
Don't. Oh, it does. Oh, that's funny. I don't think I've ever seen you wear that one.
Yeah. It's like one of those things that makes me self-conscious if I go out because
fucking.
I mean, it's in like a spray paint
Yeah, but
font.
Still.
So it's like, what's it say? And most people just see the front.
Mm-hmm. And the hood probably covers most of it. But fucking is right there.
Oh, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's out there every once in a while. I'll run in it on occasion because
honestly, you're fucking killing it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh. I'm
gonna wear it to the gym.
Yeah. Check me out. But that's a thing. The whole you're talking about the skit and the right.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, like some of my when I check Twitter,
you don't anymore.
Since the Elons is like, it seems a lot better at scraping some of my cookies, and of late, fuck you, HDMIs. Of late, I'm getting a lot of the and I don't know if they're. I presume that a lot of them are coming from TikTok. It's commentary on typically it's young women who are filming themselves at the gym and then mischaracterizing typically a gentleman or a dude at the gym who she thinks is being predatory, but it ends up proving that the person is either concerned or was coming over to correct her form or offer assistance in her form, or did she need assistance because she's fiddling with something and not actually working out?
Like Row Lady?
Yeah, right. Right. If she'd have seen me in the mirror making like the throw-up faces, she may be thinking that I'm like trying to slow jerk myself to her rowing prowess.
Right.
Like, I don't know. And then be like posting it on TikTok like, check out the creeper behind me. But there's no way to anyway. And so what ends up happening is it's like a comment on a TikTok, and essentially the feed that I'm getting is this it's a very jacked gentleman who's clearly like a gym pro.
Yeah.
Who is essentially advocating for the perspective of, listen, a lot of it, as we've talked about here on the show, like when you get past the youth of posturing and you're just there to try and you're either working on yourself or you're just trying to get into you do it because you enjoy the exercise. You're not necessarily trying to better yourself in some way. You're just occupying space and time, and you enjoy doing that.
People do that?
Right.
People enjoy that?
Some people.
Oh.
I mean, this guy clearly does, and he's a content creator. And he's essentially saying that you're trying to cross. So there are certainly times when men are being very predatory at the gym. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but a lot of these instances where a female is posting this thing, she's wrong. And generally that's what I'm getting in my feed. It's this dude like, hey, the gym is a social space for a number of activities, and you're bringing in camera gear and filming the entire space.
Along with your own baggage.
Right. So you're doing, these aren't private gyms of yours. This is a community space with multiple people paying memberships in some instances, and your camera angle is capturing everyone just trying to, in generalities, just trying to do their thing, and you're not asking them. So when someone who maybe is offended by being on your content without your consent, without their consent, or is noticing that perhaps you're doing something wrong, or they see that your activity is impacting or making someone else uncomfortable, and they're generally having their own outward emotions about whatever the fuck you're doing. Like, they're entitled to that too. And this space isn't your isolated content creator studio.
It's not your film location.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're treating it like that. And then you're treating it like every instance of someone checking in on the situation is somehow always a predator. And sometimes it may be, but then you're like mocking people. Some of them too. This guy like absolutely just gets irritated. Like the men and women will be like filming themselves in selfie mode and like looking at, like me, talking about Row Lady,
right?
But filming it and then posting it. Like, look at this bullshit. Like, look at this person. I feel talking about it is probably bleeding the edge of violating their personal space, because I'm not showing that. You don't know what they look like. Like when you're posting a video of someone's actual image, like technically I could have been fabricating that it was actually a dude and not a woman. Not that I was, but when you're posting an image or video of someone and you can clearly make out their likeness, and then you're mocking them, like that's a bridge too far for me. And a lot of these people are doing that.
Well, I think the bigger problem is that those are places where typically you shouldn't be filming.
I would agree.
It's sort of like a locker room.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. I mean, the people are going there to like work out and do whatever they need to do, not worry about whether or not some asshole over here is filming them.
Right.
Or even inadvertently filming them. I mean, that should be a camera-free zone.
I would agree.
Unless it's your own gym.
And maybe that's quite possibly where we're going to get to.
Yeah.
Like some of these gym rules I don't know if Planet Fitness has...
Well, they have
something like that.
They do. I mean, I don't know about specifically like recording.
Yeah.
But there is a post like in the area where like I don't know what they're called. They're like sort of like stair stepper machines, but they're not.
The swings?
Yeah, those things.
Yeah.
There's a post in between all those machines, and it says cell phone usage in the lobby only, please, or something like that.
Okay. So that's pretty close, I would imagine.
So I think that's conversations. They're talking about phone conversations.
Right.
But I would assume that would also go towards shooting with a camera or filming or anything.
Now, as someone that like Grant would identify, like there are some exercises, and certainly when you're really dialing in a particular exercise and you're trying to work on a specific muscle group, there is value in trying to get an eyeball on your form and making sure that but that's also what the mirrors are actually for that specifically. Now, if you're trying to do an exercise that's not in front of a mirror, I think that's in the place where you should probably have a spotter. That's what you bring a friend for.
Right.
And if you're that concerned, like if you get to that tier of gym
usage,
you're probably at a place where you're taking, like when you're that concerned about form and making sure your shit's like tight, you've got a buddy. You're there. You're probably not there solo, or whatever you're doing it with a mirror so that you can dial it in on your own. and people were doing these things with spotters and mirrors well before the advent of miniature tripods and iPhone, Samsung apparati.
Yeah.
To film them. It's like, I can't do this if, that's why it's here, so I can get it. Listen, you do it in front of the fucking thing or ask for help. Like, you'll find no shortage of gym rats that'll help you.
I don't see a problem with people filming themselves, but when other people are in the background or inadvertently, or they're filming them for some other reason because they want to bag on them or something like that.
Right.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, I don't.
If you're the only person in the video and you're at the gym, I don't care. If you're at my gym, whatever, that's up to you. But nice catch.
Yeah.
But if you're inadvertently filming other people on the bikes or the
right.
whatever,
yeah,
and they are not part of your group, then no.
Yeah,
That's it.
I agree.
Yeah. I don't go to the gym to be worried about whether or not someone's filming me sweat my goddamn ass off.
Right. And you probably wouldn't want to see me doing that.
I don't want...
It would not make for good content.
No, I don't want...
Yeah.
I don't even want to see myself in the mirror with how much sweat I produce at the gym.
I don't like to really... I don't mind myself being that way. Well, the only person that needs to see that is my wife.
Yeah, I don't even... She doesn't need to see that either. She probably doesn't want to see
I'm going to spare her a little bit.
Yeah.
This was interesting that you would actually say, I had a skit, and it would be fun.
Oh,
funny.
Yeah. Well, we didn't record this, but basically it was a funny thought I had when I was working out on the elliptical last night, where I saw a girl working out and she had big headphones on. And then in my mind, I'm like producing this skit where it's just like a street corner kind of skit where people are walking in. So say you're walking down the street with your wife and it's all set up, but the girl coming at you is wearing headphones, but also she's got a really nice rack that she's showing off. And you say to your wife, look at the cans on that, right? And your wife's pissed because she thinks you're talking about her boobs. And then as you walk by and your wife's now pissed at you, you walk by and go, hey, nice headphones.
Wait, because...
what's it?
Wait, but before you
said can't. Because they're can't.
And you're in trouble all evening.
Yeah. So I just, in my mind, I was cracking myself up as I'm sweating away. And I just thought that was funny.
I'm still so juvenile
totally
about those things. Like,
I'm totally in 5th grade right now.
Yeah. I'll go, whatever soap we have in the bathroom, like I put a pump of that and it just straight up looks like, looks like cum.
Right.
And I'm like,
every time.
Every fucking time.
Right.
Like,
yeah. So a classic one for me was I bought the big bottle of shampoo, of conditioner, and it has the pump, and I went and it sits up on a shelf, which is a little bit high, and I went to pump some into my hand, and the tip of it was clogged, so it had extra pressure, and it shot all over my face. And I just was like, holy shit, this is what it's like.
Yeah, Stan, come here quick. He didn't even tell me that he loved me.
It just loaded my face up with white cream.
Every time.
And I'm like in the shower laughing because it's funny as hell.
God, the amount I still cannot crack. Like, we'll be watching Last of Us of all things, and like just in the middle of something, I'll go be like, yeah, but that's why I'm at your mom's house. And like every single, like, if your mom's calling,
right?
Your mom knows. Like I'm way too old for some of this shit, but it's like,
it's automatic.
I am on conference calls at work, and someone will be like, something that's like, this is white out outside. And I'll be like, it was a white outside at your mom's house. Like, fuck, it never stops with me. Like, man, if this mic wasn't muted, I'm a walking HR disaster, because everything is like a mom joke, a jizz joke,
a gaffed
your wife joke. Holy shit.
Yeah, well, we made a joke earlier before the show. I think I said something about because of the vasectomy, it just comes out as dust.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so fucking juvenile. Shit.
Yeah, we're 6. What can we say?
Yeah.
Actually, that's a bit young for that conversation.
Yeah, a little not yet.
We're 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
We were, hey, welcome to Sad Dad's Club Podcast, episode 233. Maybe.
All right, well, let's roll with it.
Yeah, I'm the Lord.
I have a feeling it's 234, and I'm Jim.
Too young. So we were at a family dinner on Monday over at my sister's, and my brother #KBrett and Kim #Kim were there as well with the twins and nieces, and Xander and Piper both made it over there, and we were jawing about random stuff, and I think Piper, Venus, and my sister, or Piper, Venus, and Ethan were having some conversation off on the side, and I think it circled around school or something Piper was passionate about, and Piper said something like, yeah, well, fuck that. And she's 18.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. She's making her own language decisions.
Yes, she absolutely is. And in the house, she's 18, and Venus has always been colorful, and I am certainly, if you've been listening at any length to the show, I am also very colorful.
You're so full of shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a fucking totes. And there goes all of Tony's recommendations for the show. We're out. He's like, just come back in for the last 10 seconds so you can hear him tell me to check my oil.
That's right.
I'm as a parent and the dad.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to it by now. There's still like a little bit. She'll like rattle off a couple or be generally like upset about something, and it'll still like.
It's weird, right?
It's weird.
Yeah.
But for the most part, used to it. My brother and Ethan and maybe Chloe and I and my dad were having something just off on the side, and I think we're like right in the middle of a lull, and I just kind of in my audible periphery, I hear my brother go, "Well, that's weird," and I was finished like a sentence conversation with I think Ethan, and I went, "Wait, what? What's weird?" Like I thought him and Dad were talking about something. He goes, "You're Piper," and I went, "What? What happened?" And he goes, "Oh, she was saying something." And she went, "Fuck that," and I went, "Yeah, well, weird, huh?" I'm like,
look who her dad is.
Yeah, isn't that
look
fucking weird?
Is.
Yeah. And he's like, it's
it's
like,
hard.
It gets.
Yeah.
I'm like, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Like I'm like dad pain, right? And he's like, yeah, that one's. I'm like, yeah. Wait till the girls start needing, women's hygiene products.
Yeah.
Like you gotta start. I mean, here we go.
Chandler has always been the one to push the boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't matter what we did or said. In fact, we just had a conversation about this at dinner, and he was always the guy that, like, whatever we said wasn't the important thing. Whatever Mom and I said to him wasn't the important thing.
Right.
The important thing for him was whatever was happening with his friends.
Oh.
So if his friends said, let's jump off a bridge, and we said, well, here's the reasons why you shouldn't jump off a bridge, and blah, 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 he would want to jump off the bridge.
Okay.
You know, and, you've heard Chandler talk. He's F this and F that.
Right.
I mean, he's very much, and it's still, he's been like this for a long time. It's been his mode of operating. It is still hard. It is still uncomfortable sometimes to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm more used to it, but that doesn't mean I'm not a little bit fucking sad about it.
Yeah.
No, but
yeah.
I mean, it's
yeah.
like, I'm like, oh, that's just, and I don't, I certainly say whatever comes to mind.
Yeah.
Shannon, not so much. She doesn't really cuss that much.
Right. You just got to get her in a Cards Against Humanity
That's true.
mode.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean,
Donna,
not that she...
like all midgets coming in a basket. And you're like,
wait, what?
God damn, Donna. Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, not that she doesn't cuss, but she's definitely more withheld than I am.
Gated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Melanie, not so much. I think I've only ever heard her say a couple things, and it's like it takes a lot for her to let one fly.
Yeah.
But Chandler is just almost every other word. You know, it's like the extreme.
Oh yeah.
And it's tough. I'm totally right there with you.
Oh yeah.
It's tough. It's like it's just not the look you hoped for, or whatever. I mean, to a certain extent, I want you to express yourself also, but also just the personal feel of how it sounds. That's my child.
Yes. Yes. There's like and that's why I think a couple weeks ago, when I went up the hill and we were talking about Dad and the lawn tractor, and you want to hear a farmer tee off, like break a tractor kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, my dad is much more reserved. Like the F-bombs come out when he is very passionate about something or completely irritated or his tractor is taking shit. Whereas I'm much more laissez-faire, like casual with it. I use F-bombs and shits and all the other things as like colorful commentary. Certainly in social situations where I'm not on a podcast or I'm with a group, I'll flip it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like yeah.
Well, when you're with people that know you better, and there's no judgment there.
Right.
It's
but
different.
like when I'm with we had the Piper's graduation party, and we had like Nick's parents here and like a bunch of things. It's like something tells me these are my people, but I'll polish the stone. And a lot of that comes with, and that's maybe perhaps why it feels a little bit like nails on the chalkboard with my kids, is because my growing up, it was 100% like I got soap in my mouth. Like if I said shit in a hallway with my sister once when we were living in Los Angeles and she told on me, I've told this story, soap on my mouth.
Yeah.
Like if I got told on for saying shit, then I got soap on my mouth, or I'm in the corner holding a bat as a punishment because you don't say cuss. You don't cuss.
Yeah.
Those are adult words. And no. And even when, it turned 18, and it was still like
little taboo.
Yeah, I don't say. Certainly I think I couldn't tell you when, but the shit probably and damns probably came out first, but I couldn't tell you when that happened, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm 18 now, I'm saying the big words in front of Dad kind of thing. It probably was somewhere post like my living in Charlotte, with the bank, post 21. When I came back,
you were seasoned at that point.
I probably just felt more like this is who I am, something. And my dad somewhere in, I don't know, we'll just say 2003 to 7 probably asked me my opinion on something, and I probably went, no, Dad, Y2K was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's not like I saw silver dollar eyes, but at some point I was just ungated. Like when he asked my opinion on something, F-bomb, effing, it's like, I don't care. Like, and he's never like, it maybe happened at some point when he decided to buy us booze and we got completely drunk. It was like, that's cool. Like he like, this is my personality and he doesn't judge me on it.
Yeah.
But that type of being raised, that it was certainly taboo, and it was something that got me in trouble. I got punished for saying it. Whereas in my household as a parent, because my hashtag I love my wife is also very colorful with her language, and I am with mine. It was just kind of like the kids were both raised with us in our house. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, or what is this bullshit? You know, we're off the chain. And so when Piper, it's not like she was 18, but there was no way that I was going to have some sort of preconceived notion that my daughter was not going to use those words. And so it was like, I'm comfortable with it as long as I hope that she starts to understand the weight and the social implications of perhaps not being raised in the space that I was, that you save those words for an audience.
For something special.
Right. That you can gather that the audience isn't going to be...
You save them for marriage.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, get in the fucking bed. Take this fucking crayon and write my name with it.
Yeah.
I was told you fucking loved me. Where's the bib? And I think she's genuinely got that, but it's still like abrasive. Now, I'll be frank. My son uses all of those words, and he uses it playing fucking Roblox of all things.
Worth it.
Yeah. He is not at the caliber we've talked about Data's and like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like some of those, that's wrong.
Yeah.
What is taking the most amount of time, difficulty to get used to with Xander is that he is saying and chaining some of the cuss together in a way that it's like, hey man, you don't even know what that means. Like you haven't really earned the right.
Hey, you let me know when he chains together "fuck the fucking fuckers" in one sentence.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's certainly like. He only gets that it's a cuss of like force. Yeah. It's like this means.
Do you have an example though? Can you think of something that?
No.
Okay. Because that would be. I would love to know.
He is. No, I couldn't. And if I said one, it would probably be me just trying to make something up.
Yeah.
But he has certainly been in a place where he is, PvPing with a friend or something, and something goes sideways, and the fuck bombs and this is bullshit and fucking like it.
Yeah, it flows.
It flows.
Yeah,
but it's like, yeah, but do you? No, like you haven't earned that one. Like that one's a bit outside your pay grade.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to put the whole thing back in the box. And we have on occasion he's dropped something before
outside of gaming.
No, well, no, he
okay,
hasn't. Not to in my earshot.
Okay,
but he has said something in the room before, and I've gone in there and went, no, that's. Like that's not okay. Like that one you can't do.
That's great.
Or that's enough. Like it's too much. I've certainly gone in there and been like, that's too much. Piper and Venus seem to be much more like.
Why that's so funny?
Yeah, like no, that's enough.
Hey, pipe down, buddy.
Yeah, it's too much. Seem to get like more. there seem to be a little bit more sensitive to it, but they also seem to be it's easy to like judge that from the peanut gallery kind of thing. Like I have heard, like, come on, like you're off the chain, and then it becomes like but like he's so much younger doing it earlier, and then it becomes like, well, you're perhaps you're not wrong, but are you trying to tell me with all honesty that the difference that you'd never talk like that somewhere where I couldn't hear you? We're only really offended because we can hear it. Like, there's no way that my daughter, and certainly my wife, drop the occasional F-bombs that she does, and when she leaves this house, they aren't magnified by a number of multipliers, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But he chooses to have his vulgarities in the house, and it's hard to get around. Like I can hear it.
Yeah.
Like we can all hear it.
Right.
So it's triggering, but only because he's here.
Right.
Like I know you talk
He's
like
not doing it out.
Right. I know you talk like this outside. You're just not in earshot of me. So it's like, well, at what point, where did you learn all of these words and their emphasis and what makes them special? Because they're awesome. All of a sudden, like you had to practice somewhere. This, everything takes some training.
I think for Chandler, because we know where he's at now.
Right.
I think the one that really strikes me the most, and I just thought of this while you were talking, was, do you remember that game? I think it was on PS2, PS3 maybe? PS3, I don't know. Crazy Taxi?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Chandler was a little guy, I want to say 5 or 6 or something. And I set him up. Oh, cool. It's a driving game, driving game. Drive a taxi, pick up people, whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't think about it. I hadn't played it enough, but they say like, damn it in there. And, a bunch of that kind of stuff. A 5-6-year-old kid. And he picked up on that right away. So next thing we know, he's yelling, damn it. And we're like, what? And we're like, no.
Yeah.
But what I think is more interesting, so I guess my point being is off of that is that very in tune with that stuff. Mm-hmm. And we didn't really cuss around him when he was a little guy. So that, that sort of relaxed later. Mm-hmm. But I think what's interesting even more as a broader picture thing in general is language, human language. It's just sounds coming out of our faces, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny that we put the emphasis on the formation of these sounds that make these words.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's meaning to them. I get all that. I mean, there's meaning to everything we say. But, like, when you say fuck, it could mean so many different things. It could mean the act. It could mean an exclamation point. It could mean, like, surprise. There's all different kinds of ways you can say that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. A verb, a noun. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a very versatile thing, but also it's just a sound. It's just it's just a piece of language. Mm-hmm. And also, I think it's interesting too that I've read that there's been studies done that say that people that can string a bunch of curse words together in conversation tend to be more intelligent than not, which I think is kind of mind blowing. I don't know if that's, I don't know if I buy that necessarily. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And where,
just something to think about.
I think, God, as far as becoming more accepting of the audience in which probably hears this is, I could care less. where I became more accepting of like this is just part of who I am. Like I'm just verbose in this way. And I'm not using it for the purpose of trying to garner attention. Like if I was to, I'm not using cuss to try and say, look at me, I'm special because I use these words without fucks to give.
Mm-hmm.
I use them as expressionable reference.
Color.
Yeah, color.
Yeah.
And I think the first time where I understood that's how the words could be used was George Carlin. Like,
oh yeah.
Or Robin Williams. But for the most part, George Carlin. Like to be able to deliver a set of comedy where he did use, he had the 7 forbidden words kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he did have a bit on it, but outside of that, his shows and whatnot, they were like not George Carlin. Sam Kinison was kind of like the same way. He was
a shock comic.
Curse words, Eddie Murphy, curse words used to enhance a comedy, enhance your opinion, enhance your vocabulary and the point or the story and thing in which you were trying to you deliver your thing. And I just realized that's all I'm saying. The fucks, the shits, the things for me are like hand mannerisms. They are additive color. Like when I'm at Mahaney and we're talking about stories about the pole of shame, like it wasn't until somewhere maybe like a con night where someone made a point or comment that you can tell when Fu is like telling stories by his hands. Like his hands start like I still getting very handsy.
Yeah.
Not with the ladies. Yeah. But my mannerisms with my hands, like I get very
animated.
Yeah, animated. Yeah. Yes. Like who gets animated when like the good stories all include like and the
Yeah.
The F-bombs and the shit bombs and all the other things. I had come to realize aren't me saying those words to get you to pay attention. I use them as color. They are no different than a hand flare or an eyebrow raise or a facial joke or some other movement with my body. It's just color.
Yeah.
It's my color.
That's how I feel about it.
And that's why it was hard then to try and like, once I got to that place mentally, it was like hard to say, once the kids get there, if they've earned it, I'm not going to tell them that no one in the house was going to get a bar of soap in the mouth. It's like, you see me use those things as color.
Right.
So as long as you understand the responsibility of, you can't in class raise your hand and say, what the fuck is this? Like, there's responsibility.
Right.
And the time and place. Amongst your friends, as long as they're accepting of it and,
Yeah.
But my brother was just now getting into that where wow. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's a dad thing.
I've been there. That's what you tell them. I've been there already.
Yeah. Huh?
I
like that one? You want a shot? Because, I got some soap. Hey!
It's better than birth control.
Yeah. Man, yeah. It'll clean you out. We'll take pictures. At the same dinner, it's something very sad. We were talking about The Last of Us because the season finale was Sunday.
Yeah.
And Chloe hadn't seen the last episode, so we couldn't really talk about it. But in leading up to like just the pre-part of the conversation, we were talking about, hey, has anyone watching? We were talking about Game of Thrones, and my sister was saying that she hadn't watched the original Game of Thrones series, the 8 seasons.
I haven't.
Her and Randy had just binged the bulk of it, and they stopped at the series finale of season 8 because they didn't want it
to be over.
And I went, yeah, but you could watch it and then watch House of Dragon. Like, have you guys watched that? No, we don't watch that. I'm like, so then we're talking about shows that are really good shows. And then we brought up Last of Us. Like, well, you guys could watch Last of Us. That's also a really good series. And I think my sister and Randy watched Walking Dead. So anyway, so in talking just a little bit about those shows, I went, so do you guys have a zombie plan? And it was fucking crickets. And I went, you're all gonna die. Like, where are you gonna go? And then Xander's in the corner. He's like, and really the conversation in our house started when I asked Dad, what would be the best melee weapon? And so my sister and Randy and like Chloe are kind of like looking at it like, what the fuck do you talk about in your house? Like, and then we're like, yeah, because then we pretty much came to the consensus that katana is like the thing. And my dad and I have had like over the span of the last couple of Fridays, like we've touched base on like my zombie plan. But my dad isn't saying shit. He's not coming to my rescue. Now, my brother, he's surely got a zombie plan. But the house that we were at was kind of like, I don't know.
What
I would probably let them get close and then just shoot myself. I'm like,
that's not the point.
That's the worst plan ever.
That's.
I'm like, okay,
you're just giving up.
So you're what? Like, and then I'm like, yeah. So I've got a whole plan. And then Xander's chiming in with like, yeah, the katana, and then Piper said like a fucking bat, and
yeah. And
I'm like trying to gauge, like, oh my god, this is the family that's gonna die.
Yeah, then you got to use the Negan bat.
Yeah, I have relatives that will be the speed bumps.
That's right.
These are the speed bump relatives. Like,
well, they're the ones that you're gonna end up sticking a knife.
Right,
in
they're
there.
like Xander's friend who'd be like, "We're gonna go to a supermarket and like hole up there." I'm like,
yeah,
you're all
good luck.
You're gonna fucking die.
Yeah. Not only will the zombies come after you, but all the other people going for other shit will get you.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not. I've totally drawn a blank on if they actually had anything good.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, we're going to town. We're gonna string together a bunch of boats and fucking live in the middle of the lake. And my sister was like, but it's gonna be cold. What are you gonna do with all the snow on? I'm like, oh fuck, really? I'm gonna be alive, and you're gonna eat a bullet. So whatever.
What does it matter?
Yeah. What do you care? You're gonna be like, here's half a fucking bottle of vodka and all the whatever narcos we've got in the house. I'm like, you're the speed bump.
I'm looking forward to a world with less people.
Yeah. So just one, and then Randy, you got a plan?
You're gone.
You're done. It's 2.
See ya.
Chloe, you got a plan? Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean,
come down to here.
Here's the thing: if you let them shoot themselves, then that's one zombie you don't have
less.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, take care of yourself for me, because I'll have enough to do.
Like, do I need to figure out to give you guys a radio? Do I need to come back in and check on you, or no? You're just gonna eat the bullets? Well, then great.
Yeah. See ya.
I won't worry about it. All I have to worry about is getting Dad on the way up the hill.
Now I just know of a place where I can come get some supplies of some kind and take off.
Do me a favor, lock everything.
Give me a key.
Yeah, give me a key. Or hide everything in like the pool filter or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Put the pool cover on.
Right, yeah, before you shoot yourself.
Yeah, just help me out.
Yeah.
So I know I've got a stash somewhere.
Yeah. Someone's going to be fighting. It's going to be me. Just set me up.
Yeah.
You're already going to chew a bullet up.
Put all your medication inside like a computer case and close it and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Just give me the safe code or whatever. I was like, man, really? You look my sister. You got no zombie plan.
I guess I'm gonna have to order a katana. Oh man.
Yeah.
So is anyone interested in Cadillac update March 15?
Yeah. Do you have? Yeah.
I have no update.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Anyway,
moving on.
Next up, let's see. Oh, we got daylight savings.
Oh, god damn it. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't enjoy longer daylight at the end of the day or in the whatever.
Yeah.
But this has got to stop.
I agree.
Missing a fucking hour.
I had a long weekend, and I had work Sunday, obviously, typical. And I knew it was coming. I'm like, Venus was like, "We're losing an hour." I'm like, yeah, believe me, I know we lose an hour. Sunday was fine. Like, I had no problem. Like, same thing though. I will get more mileage out of day at the back end, daylight in the back end, than in the front end. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. And at this point, I'm so used to like wonky hour flops and working East Coast times for work. And anyway, it's like I haven't really been phased by daylight savings in the longest of ever can't fucking remembers.
Sunday was a clusterfuck for us.
Really?
It's all day long. It was like, god damn, it's already 3:00.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole day. I'm like, holy shit, it's 7:15. We haven't, normally we try to eat at 6. It's like, it's 7:15. We haven't even thought about dinner yet. Yeah.
Sunday was fine. Like, I was fine. Like, with an hour lost and I had to get up at fucking 4 balls o'clock, it was like, I was fine. But perhaps that was because I was busy. But even then, Monday, here's where it hit me. Monday, it was maybe an hour early, so I think I had a 5:30 wake up call kind of thing. And I got midway through Monday, and it was like, now there's that hour. Like, I am
zonked.
I was having a hard time.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, this one, like, what happened here? Like, where? Fucking yesterday, I lost that hour. Like, it caught me. Like, fuck. Wow.
That's bullshit.
And I'm still, like, even today, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna try and do some exercise, maybe get a run, or maybe try to hit the gym, so I'm tired, and I get to bed. Like, because I can
peak of tired.
Yeah, because I can feel it. Like, I'm still a little bit behind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, something's not all cylinders about 2:00. Like, and I'll go and like try and have like
where's the Red Bull?
Like, set a piece of fruit or something and some nuts to like
gobble.
Yeah, just like your mom does.
There it is.
There it is. Oh yeah. Hashtag I love you, Shan. But this one was hit weird. Now maybe because I actually also had like an early day and it like didn't catch up to me, and I suppose this is like a net new working on Sundays. So it's possible, but this one I actually felt. I'm like, oh shit. But I would really like it if we could just stop now.
Yeah.
Like,
we voted for this shit to stop, but I think the problem is the Congress has to because there's several other states. I know Colorado for sure.
Who are we waiting on? Is
Congress?
Is it the Senate or the House?
I don't know.
Because please pass the shit that we voted to pass. It's getting old. Like,
why?
Please do the thing.
Yeah. Why does Arizona get to do that shit?
Right. And I have a number of Arizona teammates, and they're like, now you guys are here and we're over here, and I have to like, so they're confused, and everyone's just like, what time is it for you? And I'm like, oh shit, sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Does Europe do daylight savings time, or is it just the good old USA?
I actually don't know with certainty. We may be the only dumb ones.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Everybody just works off Greenwich and they're happy about it.
I think it was yesterday. I got off work I sat down on the couch and like turned on the news just to see what was going on. And man, the lids got tight. That's super heavy.
Yeah.
I think I crashed out for about an hour, 45 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I was exhausted, and I think that's the hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. And a little better today, but it's bullshit. Like, do we have to do this every year?
Yeah.
And then
I don't like losing anything, let alone fucking time. Like, I just...
you get it back in the fall.
Yeah.
You get it back.
I'm short enough on
You're just paying it in
time
now.
anyway. It's like, God damn it. I would really like it if we could just stop fucking with this.
Just let it be daylight savings time all the time.
Yeah. It was, like, my perception of, like, that 1 extra hour of daylight is, I feel like it's more noticeable than prior to. Like, yesterday, we had a lot of wind, and it was just weird to be able to, like, oh, it's windy today towards the tail end of work, and I can see it. Like, the effects of the wind yesterday, like all the trees, because typically the wind seems to have been later or in the evening for us, like a lot of the wind advisories, and yesterday it was, like, all day.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I can see.
But the thing is, it's just time is human construction, right? So we're just assigning these numbers to this time of the day, and we're shifting it around. So it's just that you're able to see it because that number is different.
Right.
It's like the weirdest shit.
I do not wish. I wish to be one.
Can we just leave it alone?
Yeah. Just, God damn it.
We voted on this. I think it was probably 8 or 10 years ago by now. Easily.
I think we actually had California's official thing was somewhere just around COVID, 2019. Because I felt like we actually talked about it on the show. So I would say within the last 4 years, there was an official ballot measure to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it passed because we talked about, like, okay, sweet. We fixed our daylight savings, and now we've got to, unfortunately, wait for
it was
federal idiocy to get off.
It was in 2018.
There you go. Yeah, okay.
It seems longer than that.
Didn't it?
Like they just went, fuck it, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Screw you.
Hey, guys, look.
When was that? That's 5 years ago?
Yeah. You weren't far off. It just feels like...
I say 8 or 10
When
years.
I say COVID, I realized that COVID was...
20.
Almost 3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Isn't that weird?
It is. My wife and I were just talking about how weird it was when COVID hit. And, like, I got sent to work at home, and it was just going to be for a couple of weeks. And here we are 3 years later, and I'm still working at home. And it's still, in the back of my mind, to a certain extent, feels temporary. You know what I mean? Even though work has been like, you're basically okay to work at home.
Mm-hmm.
But it still sort of feels temporary, like it can just be yoinked at any time to a certain extent. But, like, it seems, then there were all these things that happened, like you couldn't get toilet paper and you couldn't get, things were flying out. You couldn't get meat. There was all kinds of stuff that were short supply. And I remember my wife and I got up first thing in the morning and went to Walmart. And our Walmart here, for a number of years was like the busiest Walmart on the West Coast, apparently. And that store was 24 hours a day store. They started getting to a point to where they didn't have the staff, apparently, to like staff it 24 hours a day. And so they started closing at night, and we showed up, and there was a line of people waiting outside to get into Walmart. And the number of people that just like beelined right to the back to get toilet paper stuff was like, what is this? It feels
Isn't that weird.
It was like so like apocalyptic feeling.
Yeah.
And I remember like walking through our Safeway, and like the meat department was like pretty much empty. And I'm like, well, we can just buy frozen burger patties. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
And then we're buying, and then we're having this conversation with the guy checking us out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you guys are doing it right. Just buy the burger patties, and you don't have to buy the ground, the pound or 2 pounds of beef."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was and you couldn't get any like wipes or whatever.
Yeah. The disinfectant.
Yeah, disinfectant
baby wipes.
Yeah,
ass wipes.
you couldn't get any of that
Toilet
stuff.
paper, paper towels,
Yeah, it was such a weird.
cleaning supplies, tissue. Like,
Oh, and in fact, my wife had a
How crazy.
photograph on her phone of a lady at our Safeway where we couldn't get toilet paper, but she had like 4 or 5 like of the Angel Soft
mhm.
packs in her cart, like stacked up, and my wife had just like snapped a picture like, "What the fuck? I can't get any toilet paper. This chick's got like 5 containers or packages of toilet paper." And I remember like at one point starting to sweat it over like,
Oh yeah.
damn, like
When did we
am
gotta
I
make
going to
it-
start like tearing paper
We
out
gotta
of a
get-
book? And
gotta get some Costco. Like, how do we get? Are we okay? Like,
yeah,
Venus's dad ended up with, making it somewhere where there was some, and like Venus comes back from his house doing office stuff, and like with like
toilet paper. Score.
He like had extra toilet paper and said we could have some. I'm like, how weird is this?
Yeah.
And seeing, like limit 2.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, when it gets to Christmas and you see things that like need batteries and they're like, oh, limit 2, or it's like a special toy, like, you can only get one of these.
Yeah.
And you see limit 2 for toilet paper. You're
Yeah.
like,
Or for like Clorox wipes or something.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, what milk, same way.
Yeah.
Same.
It's so weird.
What a weird
It's
thing.
never like we've never had in my lifetime. I mean, I've never had to deal with that kind of stuff before. Everything's just been normal, I think, right?
Yeah.
And that was like the first time you sort of saw that our society could have fissures in it
Yeah.
of any kind.
Yeah.
And you really saw, I think, to a certain extent, the worst in people, like as they clamber for shit. That was just like the most bizarre thing. It was like we just need like maybe 6 rolls of toilet paper or something, just like one package.
Yeah.
But then you've got this guy that bought hundreds of, or
and then
he's selling them on eBay
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
and you're
Like,
like, fuck off, dude.
These aren't Beanie Babies and Furbies and fucking limited edition Squish, or PS3s,
Yeah.
Xbox, whatever. Fucking, you're trying to flip.
Yeah,
People were flipping toilet paper.
yeah,
Like, you're like,
so bizarre.
what is this?
Yeah, and then I don't think that like we ever fully got out of the shortages of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
know-
think we're playing catch up on a number of supply chain things.
Yeah,
Automotive stuff.
computer parts and
Right.
stuff, like stuff for my work. We're having to design and redesign
Around the parts that are available.
yes. And not just once, like multiple times. Like we've had multiple board spins on different products because we just can't get those parts, or we had parts on order and the company that manufactures them just like canceled your order and said, we're not making those anymore. And you're like, oh, fuck.
Right.
Now what are we going to do? So the engineering, our electrical engineering folks, our hardware guys are having to get super creative,
Mhm.
and the people who are sourcing our parts are having to get super creative on where they can find stuff. It's really interesting. And, Dave is our CEO. He's been on the show, but he was saying like, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It's one of those problems where you can't just throw money at it. You just can't get the parts. Even if you spend 10 times what the part's worth, you just can't get them, period. They would sell it to you if they had it at that price, but they don't have it. It's just weird.
Yeah.
And that's still happening today. That's still happening today.
Yeah, there's still, yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's weird. And then I wonder, like, I mean, you can go to the Apple store and buy did they just come out of it pretty much unscathed, or do they just have enough parts?
Yeah.
Or is it because their stuff's manufactured in China that those parts weren't affected? I don't know. I don't understand how, because there's a lot of companies that seem like they're bigger companies, like, I mean, PC makers and Apple, and they didn't really ever seem to be affected by that.
Yeah, they still kept releasing new phones.
Yeah.
New watches.
It's weird.
Everybody, like all of those people with, like, did you ever hear about, there's certainly, like, product, like,
limitations.
Sure. Like, oh, it's a brand new thing. Well, generally the first 30 days.
Trying to get it out.
Yeah. And we've restocked. But, like, you tell me some iPhone or Samsung that was really good, that didn't have that problem pre-COVID, and I'd be like, yeah, they did. Like, if it's a new shiny,
right?
Generally, if you didn't pre-order, you're probably not going to get it for about 30 days, and then they play catch up, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
But, I wouldn't have said, well, like the Xbox One X and the PS5s.
Those are on super short supply.
They've caught up. Those are.
They have?
Yeah, they've caught up somewhere.
Are they like available now? Retail?
Yeah,
like you can find them in a store? Like a PS5?
The PS, yes. I mean, I bought mine without having fucks to give.
Oh.
Didn't like.
Interesting.
Not have to worry.
Was there
about
any dealer markup?
Yeah, no. Fuck.
Jesus.
Speaking of cars, so I over the weekend, I redid Piper. We've talked about this months ago. Piper's headlights.
Yeah.
So, and this goes to that. This will be as we wrap up. The thing that you and I have talked about is, sometimes you just do a thing and you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but and I'm not a pro at this, and or certainly Nat would know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's an iteration, like, this I don't know, so this is going to be my first shot at this, and I'm probably going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Or I might get lucky. If I'm really super informed and I understand everything, then I might nail it on my first shot. But most likely, as a normal dude or lady or whatever, you're going to have to iterate. I couldn't tell you when I did Piper's head or the Miata headlights. So we're talking about the oxidized yellowing of a car's headlight that's probably 2, 5, 10, 12, 15 years old kind of thing. Everyone's probably seen it on the road, if not had it happen to their car. So somewhere, I want to say a couple of years back, I did Piper's and the Dodge's, the truck's headlights. I went through a sanding, polishing, and then I put some like aftermarket like sealer polish, like
UV
ceramic thing on there. Piper had with Piper's, I think I did like a 2K clear coat. So I essentially repainted with like a 2-part clear coat Piper's headlights. In working with that the first time on headlights, one headlight had more coats, or the paint, it had a better adhesion on one, and so one headlight was essentially already like they were both yellowing already, which I kind of expected. Nothing is ever going to last you the length of time that it does coming out of factory. So I knew, but one was not only starting to yellow and fog a little bit, but it was also the clear coat that I had put on there was starting to like flake. And so then it was becoming an irritant to me. Like, fuck. One, she drives this. The weather of late has been absolutely balls, and I can't have her in a car with compromised visibility. But the rain has also been problematic. Like, you kind of need to have like anyway. So I'm like, I'm going to get this done this weekend. I have watched another set of videos where it's about the sanding, it's about the polishing, and while there may be other third-party products that will tell you it's like a clear, like a headlight restoration, the 2K clear coat paint, not needed, because in most cases, unless you're going to like a DuPont or some sort of paint store, the clear coat is not going to have a UV protectant in it.
Right.
So that is going to yellow on its own outside of the plastic starting to oxidize. So I realized I'd probably fucked up there because the paint that I had didn't have that. And some of the wipes that are part of like clear coat restoration kits also are more of like the ceramic sealer and like kind of like a Rain-X, like a water repellent, then they are also a UV protectant that does that. So in knowing what I've used in the prior, I'm like going through my checklist like of things that I had done. At no point had I ever applied anything that had UV protectant in it. And I ran across some gentleman's channel his whole shtick is he goes around and does headlights. He restores headlights, sanding, polishing, and 3M products. The 3M products that has a UV. It's a wipe, so it's like the little tissue that you would get like a alcohol rubbing pad from like a fucking Buffalo Wild Wings or something. It's like that size of thing, but it's a sealer with a UV protectant built into it. And if there's two companies or two people that you would trust with chemicals, DuPont is one, Walter White is probably the other.
Yeah.
But really, it's probably 3M and DuPont. So I'm like, oh, okay. So this is, and he's like,
don't mess with anything else.
You don't have to mess with anything else. If you're going to trust something that does exactly what it's supposed to, without frills, without like restoration, this is what this product is. It is a UV protectant sealer. And I went, fuck it. And it's not necessarily any more expensive because it's just the wipes. That's all you're getting.
Yeah.
So I set a specific regimen for each. I did 400, 800, 400, 800, 1,000, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 grit at 7 minutes.
It is unnerving, though.
What?
I will say this. When you do this process and you start with the grainiest.
Yes.
It is unnerving
to see
how the headlights
yeah.
look initially.
And I started taking pictures too, because I wish where I foobarred was I actually didn't take the where I started picture. And I'm like, why the fuck didn't I do that? I should have done that. But yeah, I took a picture right after 400 and it's like, ooh boy, okay.
I hope it comes back.
And part of the iteration of the process was when I did it the first time for both the Dodge and the Miata, I was like, man, this seems like a little too much.
Yeah.
And so I probably didn't stick with the maintaining the same time for each grit and stage, because I was apprehensive, like, am I going too fast? Am I creating something that won't come out in the end? So, you don't spend the same amount of time.
You're like, that's probably good enough.
Right, exactly.
I
You're
have
like,
probably fucked this up.
Right. So, and when you get to the buffing stages and you're doing stuff, and it's like, you get these like little things nagging in your ears of like people and tips of things that I've watched that were like, yeah, if you go too slow, then you might start melting. And you're like, when I got to the buffing stages earlier, and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to generate too much heat, so this looks good,
Yeah.
This time I was like, no, 7 minutes, hold the line. Sand it, both sides, sand it. 7 minutes, sand it, 7 minutes. Polish. Should I, that looks good. No, I'm going to do this compound, This compound, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. This final compound, 5 minutes. And then we'll let it sit. And then I did fucking, those things look cherry, dude.
Nice.
And now it's like a running joke in the house, like, hey, those lights are clear as fuck.
Do they have did they have any of those like spider cracks or spider sort of looking cracks in them?
No.
No? Okay.
No. And like your son said his were like pitted.
Yeah.
Piper's were not. They were starting to certainly oxidize, and the clear coat, my application of the 2K clear coat was really the problem on the one. And so it was like that was the biggest problem. She didn't have any serious abrasions. The actual lens have full integrity. There's no chips, cracks, splits.
Well, I wonder on Chandler's, he's got that pitting in them. If the sanding process would take most of that, if not all of it.
It may. I don't know. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see like how.
But it's hard to commit to that
pitting. It, like I said, 7 minutes through 6 or 8 stages.
7 minutes per stage
per headlight.
Yeah.
So it's 7 minutes there. There's 15 minutes
that's
gone.
That's a weekend program.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like part of my him and hod, because I'm like, once I start this,
you gotta go.
I'm here for like 2 hours.
Yeah, easily.
Kind of thing. It was but and that was it. Like I have to get to the end. So wherever I choose to start this, and really like the final catalyst was like the weather is just absolute terrible. Like. And her headlights were only getting worse with time. Like I can't keep putting you out on the road with that.
Right.
Like so yeah, they can be saved. I believe wholeheartedly. And now I look at like the Dodge that I actually did before I did Piper's the first time. Like I know it like irritates me because I know I half-assed-ish.
It could be better.
It could be way, way, way better.
Yeah.
Like, and now I'm like, oh fucking, now that Dad's got the Dodge, and now I'm like, well, he's a grown ass man. He'll figure it out. He knows how.
You'll get it back at some point.
I'll get it back, and I'll like go to the 9s on it.
I think Shanna's needs another round, so I might have to just commit to the full process.
And I bought like a really nice like cordless 12 volt like an 1.5 inch diameter like pad thing that I thought I'd be able to cut out the middleman and not have to put the elbow grease in it. Like I bought like some Velcro sanding pads. But in the end, the sanding pads didn't come in time. So it was elbow grease. The sandpaper stuff was, wet elbow grease the whole time. And then once I got to the polish, I could use the polish pads on the cordless thing.
Yeah.
But it's elbow grease.
Yeah.
And I think we said that the first time. You've certainly done it with the CRV before.
Yeah.
But I think we're both in the same place where it's like, there is no headlight restoration kit that you can apply to your car in less than 15 minutes that will be the same end product in 30 to 60 days. There's no way.
Yeah.
If you put in an hour to 2 hours, you will probably get a year to 2 years, probably depending on your location and whatever things are put on your road and snow and whatnot and condition of your road.
Well, you might be able to extend that just if you keep applying some UV protectant.
Right. Like the three and using a UV protectant. I think that is absolutely probably the biggest net new for me. Was like I didn't really pay attention to that. Science is science. The ultraviolet shit is
people don't believe in science.
Yeah, absolutely destroying. It's it only happens because we're on a flat Earth.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, prove us wrong.
Yeah. I dare you. But time and the whole thing with I didn't do it right the first time. Dodge. I did it a little bit better. Miata. This time I had better products, better information, better dedication, and I am way more confident that this will get me this isn't a forever done. Like I'll be checking in on this frequently because they're awesome to look at. They're sexy.
Yeah.
And then probably in a year, I'll reapply. I'll polish, reapply the 3M protectant.
I mean, just do it every 6 months.
And just kind of, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're at time now.
All right. Wow.
I'm like, you don't have to polish the headlights of a cart, but you should return it.
Yeah, you should wash your hands after you're polishing.
Wash your ass.
For sure. And check your oil, Tony.
Wear the mask.
Do the kindness.
Get the shot.
Get the shot.
Register to vote. You already did oil.
Make the call.
Make the call.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.